Indeed, and we're going to try to solve that conundrum. We've got Jovan Buha, NBA reporter. He's got the podcast, Buha's Block. Jovan, glad to have you in the studio. Love you here. Obviously, you'll be at Crypto tonight for Lakers-Clippers. Before we get to Lakers-Clippers, I just want to start with the tanking thing. Do you think it's a major issue? You were around All-Star Weekend. Did you get the vibe that it's a major problem?
It's a major issue. That's the hot button topic right now with everybody. That's all everyone's talking about. So yeah, I think it's a big issue. I don't know how they're going to solve it because you talk to 5 different people, you're going to get 5 different answers in terms of a potential solution here. You also have to remember that you're going to need at least half the owners to sign off on any change here. So I think the small market teams like tanking and like the draft and like the system of they feel like they're at a disadvantage in free agency and trades and acquiring these superstars. So I get it to a degree, but this clearly is a big issue when you have teams, pulling guys out in the fourth quarter when they're leading, and sometimes they still end up winning the game, like we saw with Utah against Miami. But it's in a tough spot right now. And
you look at the schedule tonight across the league. There's a lot of teams trying to lose because this draft is so stacked. So I'm not asking you to instantly solve it, but do you agree with some of these things that Silver mentioned to the GMs around the league?
Yeah, I think it's probably like realistically going to have to be a bunch of small changes adding up to a bigger change. I don't think they're going to abolish the draft like some people want. And like, I mean, it's interesting in theory, right? If you had some sort of system where maybe you do have like a salary slot for an incoming rookie, and you do that by record, and let's just say the worst team can offer like $15 million, and then you go to like the second worst team, $13 million, and on. Then the player gets to pick which, like, do you want to go to, you reference Utah, do you want to go to Utah for $15 million, or do you want to go to LA for $4 million, right? That's a pretty big gap there, and but then you get to kind of dictate your career. I think that's pretty drastic, though, and I don't see the owners signing off on that.
The Lakers, actually, they didn't tank. Just in the post-Kobe years, they had a bunch of top 5 picks. It was Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell. There was another guy, Lonzo Ball. All of them, they couldn't win anything. So they decided, let's go veteran. Let's bring in LeBron. LeBron brings Anthony Davis, and they win the championship. So, even some of the big market teams can struggle. My Knicks, man, they were down bad for like 20 years after going to the finals. Like, I don't think it's just a small market issue. Like, sometimes the big market teams, they can't get out of their own way.
Well, that's the issue here, is that you have teams who are continually in the top 5, top 10, and if you can't draft and then you can't retain the talent, you can't develop the talent. Like, I think there's a reason why we see some of the same teams in the bottom 5 to 10 year after year. It's one thing if it's like a few years, but when you have like 10, 15-year runs of the same teams, it's like nothing's going to save them.
Yeah. Washington, Sacramento, it's rough. All right, let's get to a good team, the Lakers. The big 3 are good to go tonight. Austin Reeves, Luka, LeBron. According to Rachel, only the 11th time this season. That's insane. JJ Redick, I think we agree, has done a damn good job. With the big 3, what's a reasonable expectation? Can they get to the 3rd seed and avoid OKC in round 2? And I know I don't look to round 2 yet. They might lose to Minnesota. But can they get to 3 if everybody's healthy?
Yeah, I believe so. This is only the 3rd game this season that they've had their entire rotation, just period, right? So 11 games with the big 3, going to be the 3rd time. You got to go back, I think it was sometime in December and then another time in November. So it's been a while since they've had everybody, and despite that, they've managed to be the 5 seed and right there behind 3 and 4. So they do have the 8th toughest remaining schedule. So that is something to factor in. But you look at the other top West teams, they're all in that like top 10. They're all playing each other. So I think it's going to come down to, can they stay healthy, right? Because they've not been able to stay healthy. I recently did a breakdown of looking at the top 6 teams in the West, how many games they've missed due to injury. And the Lakers are 3rd behind OKC and Denver in terms of games missed due to injury with their top 10 rotation guys. So they've been one of the least healthy teams this season. They've been one of the least healthy teams going back several seasons now. So it would have to buck that trend of them actually getting healthy and staying healthy. But entering, coming out of the All-Star break, they're healthy.
Wow, I thought Dallas would be number 1. OKC.
Oh, just looking at the top 6.
Oh, just the top 6. Okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, I know OKC has missed a lot with SGA, J-Dub, and they're back healthy. And I say 3rd because in the 10 games with the big 3, the Lakers are 7-3. So you extrapolate that, and I like the rotation. I think Luke Kennard's been a plus. If you trot out Luke Kennard, Austin Reeves, Luka, LeBron, Rui, DeAndre
there's no
Ayton.
defense there.
Well, yeah, who are they stopping?
That's the thing, and actually, so it's interesting that they're 7-3 in the 10 games that the big three have played together, but they have a minus 9.8 net rating with those three on the floor. So they've won in spite of the struggles with those guys. And I even went back to last season and just looked at the full sample size, regular season, playoffs, and then regular season again this season. They have a minus 3.5 net rating with the big three on the floor in about 700 minutes. JJ Redick said earlier in the season, they like to look at things in like a 250-minute sample size or more. So we have 700 minutes here of minus 3.5. They've been losing the minutes with the big three. They got to figure that out. I think that's the big question down the stretch of the season is like, if those three can't play together, I think that limits the ceiling for the Lakers, obviously.
That dovetails perfectly. So if they can't play together, what the heck happens in the offseason? What's your best guess? I mean, again, we're February 20th. Nobody's putting you on the spot. They're not going to call you out. What's your best guess as to the top four guys on the Lakers next year, the top 3 or 4 guys?
If you break it down, Luka and Austin Reeves have been the two-man pairing that has actually worked over this sample size, depending on if you're looking at last season or this season. They've been killing teams at plus double-digit net ratings. So I think that foundation is what the Lakers want to build around moving forward. It's just a matter of, is LeBron there for 1 more year? Is he there for maybe 2 more years? I think that's a little... I'm doubtful that he plays a couple more seasons, but maybe he plays 1 more year in LA on a discount, and they run this back for a final season. He gets his retirement tour. But I think Luka and Austin are the two that I'm going to be monitoring over the stretch run here of just what's that pairing like? Because we have seen Luka thrive Jalen Brunson several years ago before he popped in New York. Kyrie Irving en route to the 2024 finals. I think he likes having that high-scoring, playmaking sidekick guard. Austin has, you could argue, has been the best of those three just based on how he's played this season. So I think that's the partnership long term. They want to keep Austin this summer. But with LeBron, I mean, there's so many unknowns, right? Does he even want to play? Does he retire after the season? Then what type of contract is he looking for? What type of contract are the Lakers willing to give him? So that is the one I have less certainty on.
He seems like the kind of guy who would stay on a bit of a hometown discount. He seems to love LA. But the big question is, everybody wants to know, how can we get Giannis without losing Austin Reeves? And you have broken this down. It is possible. I don't want to say there's hiccups or it's a bad look for the Bucks, but let's take the Bucks angle first. The Bucks are in salary cap hell, right? They don't have any picks, right? The Miles Turner thing is not great. The Damian Lillard wave and stretch, like they're in cap hell and no path to getting out of it. This is where the trade to the Lakers comes into play.
The Lakers offer them an exit plan where they don't have to take on any money. So right now the Lakers are projected to have around $51 million in cap space if they rescind the rights to all of their free agents and then also trade that 2026 first-round pick. And maybe they could get a little, create more space, get closer to like $60 million if they can maybe attach like a small asset to get off of a contract. Maybe they could trade like a Dalton Connect or something like that, stretch it out to like 55, 56, or even closer to 60. So if they can create that space, and even in the offseason, we talked about it on your show, like the rules in terms of taking on salary, there's a little bit more flexibility. You just have to get under certain thresholds going into the season. So that's like a later offseason thing. But they could acquire Giannis and send out the 3 picks. It would be 2031 and 2033 plus 2026, which they would have drafted on behalf of the Bucks. And send them the 3 picks, take back Giannis, and create a giant trade exception for the Bucks. They could also do a different version where it's a 3-team trade, and let's just say there's a team with a big contract that wants to get off of it. They could attach a pick to that, send that to Milwaukee. So it's a 3-team trade. They get like an extra couple years of a bad contract, but they get maybe a pick or a couple picks. Plus the Lakers 3 picks. Now you're getting like 4 to 5 picks. You're already not going anywhere. I think the one variable here is like, does Giannis force his way to LA? Does he say, I want to go to the Lakers, or like the Lakers are my top 2 or 3 teams I really want to go to? And then does Houston flame out in round 1, and now all of a sudden Amen Thompson or Alperen Sengun's on the table, and that's like a better asset than anything the Lakers can offer?
So that's the thing, like the idea of the Bucks telling their fans, we traded Giannis to the Lakers for 3 picks and $55 million in cap space. Like that's a tough sell. Who do we get back? For one of the best players in franchise history, it's either him or Jabbar or Lou Alcindor. That's a tough sell. Like,
so, I don't think the Lakers are the favorites by any means. I think it would have to almost be like I'm going LA, New York, Miami, like if I'm Giannis.
But Miami doesn't have anybody good. Tyler Hero?
They have 4 picks. But that's also, I think that's what's in the Lakers' favor. Like, he would have to basically put the Lakers on the short list, and then the Lakers would have to be the best package compared to, because if it's like New York, now do you want to take back Cat and have, like, you're not going anywhere, right?
Yeah,
like,
why want
you're already
Karl-Anthony
rebuilding.
Towns?
Then if it's Miami, it's like, are you really that high on Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez? So I think compared to like maybe some of the bigger market teams, I think the Lakers have a better shot than they're given credit to. But again, if San Antonio or Houston flames out and all of a sudden they want to make a bigger move, they have the blue chip talent that they could put the blue chip talent on the table and the picks, which the Lakers can't match.
Like a Steph Castle. I don't anticipate them putting him on the market.
I don't either. But
interesting.
Houston, I think, is the one that's potentially interesting because I think they're a candidate to like be a disappointment.
Does KD's burner have anything to do with that, or the alleged burner?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't deny it.
And Şengün and Smith and like
something like that.
That is good, but if you're the Bucks, do you want those guys? Where are you going with them?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you want to have a shorter rebuild, right? Like, no one wants to be in purgatory forever, but yeah, it would have to be something that they think about.
Or can the Rockets be like, hey, we didn't have Fred VanVleet and Steven Adams. We're going to run this back next year.
They could.
KD at 38.
Yeah.
A full off season of burner activity. I don't know if any of that stuff makes sense. Let's go back to the Lakers. Does Luka and Giannis together work? We've seen Luka work with, like you said, Brunson as a wingman, Kyrie as a wingman, Derek Lively, PJ Gafford in the middle. Giannis is a bit of a different animal.
I think it would work, but I think both guys would have to make sacrifices, and probably the biggest sacrifices they've each made up to this point in their respective careers. Like, Giannis didn't love running a bunch of pick and roll with Dame, right? Like, it started to kind of click right before Dame got injured, and,
that's right.
And they had some flashes, but this would be a heavy dose of Giannis, Luka pick and roll, Giannis having to be the screener, the roller, rim runner, lob threat, which he can do. He can just obviously do much more than that. Maybe you see some inverted pick and rolls where Luka's screening for Giannis, but like Luka's not been a big screener in his career.
No.
So it would require, I think, both guys making some sacrifices that they've been reluctant to make up to this point. But I think they're both talented and skilled enough. You don't overthink it. 2 top 5 guys, like history suggests that's a title.
Do we
contender.
know if they're friends? And I know the European international guys are all friends. Do we know if Giannis and Luka are friends or friendly?
I don't know. I don't think they're close, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I ask that because, Luka is ball dominant, extremely. But Giannis has also had a bunch of injuries, Jovan, in the last couple of years. I think it's 2 or 3 calf injuries.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue his last relevant playoff moment was in 2022 against the Celtics.
Holy hell, what is that, 4 years ago?
Yeah, second round, Game 7.
So at that stage, if you're the Houston Rockets or the Spurs, I'm not giving up all that.
I mean, that's why they did not
years.
make those offers at the deadline, right? But I think if you're Houston and you're sort, I mean, Houston's kind of on 2 timelines here, where you got KD at the end of his career, and then you have Şengün entering his prime, Amen Thompson ascending. They kind of have to figure that out of, are we kind of in win now mode, or are we taking the long view here?
All right, we'll wrap up. So I had a list. Our staff, Cade Cunningham, made some comments to GQ about I'm the best American player. It's become a fun narrative. It's a good TV, radio topic. So we had the list of the 10 best American players to build around. Rachel laughed. A lot of people did. I had Cooper Flagg as number 1. You've seen Cooper Flagg up close. I mean, I'm blown away by the guy's talent. He's 19 years old, arguably the best teenager in NBA history. But, like, what do you hate about this list? And you can be blunt, because I've known you here now for a year. Go off.
Yeah, no, I think it's a pretty good list.
Oh, hey, I'll take it.
I would probably have Jaylen Brown a little lower, and I would also consider Jason Tatum, though he is coming off.
He's injured, so I left him out.
Okay, that's
fair.
fair.
I love me some Tatum.
And Halliburton, right?
Yeah.
Some of the injured guys, it's fair to question how they're going to return.
But some of the staffers
I
were like,
I would probably have Ant first. That would be my
He's established. He's been to the conference finals.
Right. I think he's in that top 5 mix. He's been to a couple conference finals.
Does Durant belong on here above Kawhi or in that vicinity, 230-somethings together?
Maybe. I think it's a pretty top 10, especially if you're taking out Halliburton, Tatum. I think it's a pretty strong list. Yeah, I mean, Cooper Flagg, I think, has that upside. You look at his rookie numbers; he's right there with LeBron and Luka and several stats. So yeah, I think that's like projecting out. Obviously,
But I mean, like Cooper Flagg, if he gets a wingman in the draft, Debansa, or the point guard Flemings. Like, there's a lot of guys. They're going to be good quick, and I think they move off Kyrie. By the way, last note, so they're shutting down Kyrie, Dallas. Do you see him on the Mavs next year, or are they going to move him?
I think they eventually move him. I don't know if they're going to move him this offseason.
Because that's another guy who LeBron has a friendship
I mean, they
with.
should be in teardown mode. They should be in, like, now we're on the Cooper Flag timeline.
Yes.
What fits around Cooper Flag? Kyrie obviously does not, but coming off of a major injury, I don't know what his trade value is currently.
All right, Jovan Buha. Check out his podcast, Buha's Block. Great stuff. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank
All
you
right,
for
coming
having
up
me. I love the new
next
set.
here. Yeah, the set's beautiful. Coming up next here, the most important player on the hottest team in the league. Who might we be talking about? That's next here on The Herd.